Hi there, welcome back. And I'm going to take you through today a little bit on the dual factor authorizations. So the system allows not only segregation of duties, but it allows a dual factor authentication. This is something we set up on the onboarding process, and we will go through this in a lot more detail with you when we get there. And the reason is it's very difficult on a training video like this to try and show you how two people need to authorize something. But we'll give you a quick rundown of exactly what is going to happen and where to find the information you're looking for. So in a previous video, we did show you that the cancellations are over here. So now this button for cancellations or view cancellations is only available to the person who has the permission to actually authorize the credit note. Very similarly, if you're going into accounting main, this create cancellation button will only be allowed to certain individuals who are allowed to request a cancellation. So as this, you've probably just watched our how to create a credit note video. So in this case, this shows you that this is how it all works together. Someone that works in your admin department will not even have access to the accounting tab, but you might have somebody in your accounting department who can create cancellations but can't approve them. So that's why this button is also semi-permissioned, so that when you do your cancellations, someone needs to come and authorize it after it's done. Now, this can be done a number of ways depending on your accounting practice. Some people still put together a check requisition and a little sort of paper trail pack that goes into a hard-covered file. Other people will do this automatically and put this into, for example, an online saving mechanism like a SharePoint drive or a NAS drive. That is the first way of doing it. The other way is that if you go into broker administration, you're going to see here view change requests. Now, on view change requests, you're going to see that there is obviously the standard VAP change request and your monthly change requests. I'm going to just start off with the VAP because they both work in exactly the same way. What you're going to see here is that you are going to have an option of a variety of different things. Dealer and product changes, so that's more for your administration team. So if someone does a dealership swap on a sale for a product, or they do a product swap, this can also be multi-factor authorized as well. Someone asks for it, someone approves it. And in some cases, someone asks for it, someone approves it, and then you have a secondary approver as well. So there are 3 steps it has to go through, depending on how we've onboarded you and depending on how tight you need your security to be around these matters. So you've got the dealer, the product status, VIN releases or changes. This is when you have sold a policy and you cannot load it because of the fact that the VIN number exists on another policy, either with another client of ours or with another policy that is on your own books. You can actually release that VIN and sell the second policy onto that car. Please remember that that will now render the old policy out of expired, but still run it on term to your fund report. The invoice changes, so if there's any invoice changes you want to affect, you want to change, completely credit an entire invoice or partial invoice, this is where this is going to happen. Credit note changes, so if you have changed the amount of the credit note that you want to do, so let's say, for example, your calculation is different to what's happening on the system, and we haven't had the opportunity to either customize that for you, or you've just got such a odd way of working it that you do your own calculation. This, you can change the actual amount of the credit note itself, and you can set it in here. We then have a look at M&M number or engine number changes. Now, engine number changes we take quite seriously, especially M&M number as well. So M&M number reflects the vehicle that would need to be changed. So that is something you'll need to obviously have a dual authorization on. Engine number has to be approved because of the fact that if you're changing an engine, you actually need a police document to say that this engine has been changed in this vehicle. Otherwise, the vehicle becomes a code 3, I think it is, where they literally write the entire thing off, or it cannot be resold because it's then seen as a theft of a vehicle. So you need your police certificate. So when you're doing an engine number change, it asks you for the multi-authentication so that you can keep up to date and make sure that you've got all the documentation in place to sort that out. So that's normally on massive claims where the engine is going to be completely replaced. Platform reference change, so in the fact that the Signio security number was changed. This happens reasonably often on Signio, where they've applied to 3 or 4 banks. They might have sealed the deal on one of those and sent the documents to us, but then at the last minute they changed to another bank, either by client request or they managed to renegotiate the deal, and suddenly for whatever reason they've redone an entirely new policy. So we do see that often on Signio, so we do allow you to change that as well. Policy payment information change, so again anything to do with payments, terms, ID numbers, claims change, claims payment change, and also claims payment authorization. So when you go in here, it's going to literally show you everything for the claims payment. Now when we look at payments and accounting, so I've just changed this now to claims payment, you'll see here it says here first processed by and second processed by. So effectively now this is the case where you're going to need somebody on claims to actually request a payment by using processed payments. Once that's done, your accounting department will need to go into accounting, ILI, will need to go into broker administration, view change requests, go down, go into claims payment authorization, and now you need a dual authentication here. So 2 accounting department people to authorize this. Please note that we can limit this, so make it only 1 authorization. We don't suggest it. We do suggest using a dual authentication mechanism on this case. Please don't allow claims guys to authorize the payments. Please note that for any payment or refund information that you see here, so for claims payment information, for payment change, or for any other refund information, and especially as well if you're looking at accounting and your view cancellations button, anything you do in those 3 factors will print the bank file. So whoever does the final authorization will print that final bank file. So to recap, let's quickly do that. You come in, this is your screen here, you are the person doing the authorizations. You are either going to accounting and view cancellations, or if we reset the entire system, you're going to go into broker administration, view change requests, and you're either going to choose monthly or VAT. Just go to VAT for now, and you are going to then select what kind of change you are going to be authorizing. So you'll have all of these options available to you depending on what your permission level is. If we require multiple people, then you'll do your first one and it'll note that, and then it'll go and you'll be able to tell the second person, please go and authorize these claims documents. Please note this must follow suit on your own internal policy for your company. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.